Hey everyone. Hey. Let's see if anyone shows up today. But let's talk about having skin in the game, right? The title of the video is He Must Have Skin in the Game to Take You Seriously. And what do I mean by skin in the game? I mean putting out something that you don't want to lose, meaning it means investing. It means taking somewhat of a slight risk. And I know you guys have heard people say, or me say, and others say over and over again that men commit to what they invest in. Point blank period. Like the more a man invests his energy, his time, his attention, and especially his resources into something or someone or some initiative, the more likely that man is to stick it out and stay, right? And what I've seen, unfortunately, and I have this little example right here to kind of illustrate a point or demonstrate a point, is a lot of women are just kind of giving themselves freely, like giving up their time freely, giving up their energy freely, giving up their attention freely, giving access to their bodies freely, which is insane. But and they really reap the consequences. And you have some women that don't only give up themselves freely, but they go even further. They take a step further and they end up paying someone to be with them, right? And a lot of times these women are definitely in their masculine energy. They're just operating from their masculine energy. And I just want to say something really quickly. And I want you to think about this. Have you ever noticed when you get something for free, or when people get something freely, right? Like when you get maybe a free sample, you get one of those free ebooks online. How do we treat those things? We treat them as if they are disposable. We treat them as if they're nothing special because we didn't have to actually put in any skin in the game. We didn't have to put skin in the game. We didn't have to put any equity. We didn't have to sacrifice something to get that free thing. It was just handed to us. It was just given to us, right? And that's the reality. The reality is that when things come freely, people don't appreciate them, okay? People don't appreciate them. So that's why you have to require any man that you deal with to have some type of skin in the game, for you to take him seriously and for you to even expect that man to take you seriously, right? Hey, Real Deal Financial. I don't know where everybody at today. They're usually online. Everyone, you see Real Deal Financial right here. You should definitely subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to Real Deal Financial's channel. He's giving out great business advice, strategy, and game. Okay. All right. But anyway, let me get into this little, this little news outlet right here. So it says businesswoman 49 who says police worker boyfriend evicted her just after she paid off the mortgage loses court fight for half of the $400,000 home. Okay, and apparently this is the picture of them. Now, if there is a woman paying some man's mortgage, she is definitely operating from her masculine energy, and there's nothing wrong with that. But ladies, you have to understand the consequences of doing so, right? You have to understand what happens when you do that. And we have someone in the group. This came from a group I'm in, I'm in on Facebook. And a woman says, here's what not to do. Okay. Play house with a man you are not married to in his property and invest your own money into said property, thinking the relationship is going somewhere. Okay. And this is good. This is also good advice. Another way that I've observed that women give of themselves freely and don't require, this is the worst situation you could ever do, right? Or have worst situation you could ever get yourself into, is when you have a man's child or when you pay for a man's house, or you provide for a man, and that man has done the bare minimum, as in committed to you via marriage, right? I know this example doesn't get into having children, but this woman put up, I think the article says she put up like £100,000 for this man's house. And she's trying to get the money back because after she spent that money, the man dumped her, right? This is hustling backwards. Okay. It's like when the woman is putting all of the skin in the game and the man isn't putting any skin in the game, you know something's wrong there. And usually this comes from low self-esteem. Usually the woman has very low self-esteem. She has very little self-regard. She has very little understanding of her value as a woman or as a feminine entity, right? But yeah, this is, you have to require any man that you deal with to have put skin in the game. And if you're putting all of here's the thing though. In this example where this woman pays £100,000 for another man's house and then he dumps her, so she like lost £100,000. I think she gets some of it back, but still, that's a lot of money to put out and then get dumped, right? It's like, not only is she being exploited for her body and access to her body, she's also being exploited for her money, right? And I think a lot of women truly don't understand their power. And a lot of women who don't understand the power in femininity will do things like give a man money or pay for a man's car or buy a man's car or pay for a man's rent. Like, it's like a lot of these women don't understand that what they have, if they embraced it, like their feminine being, like their femininity is way more valuable than the money that they think is valuable and that they think they should give to a man. Point blank period. I mean, because if you think about it, men would go off to war and risk their lives and die just to get access to a woman, not even to like sleep with a woman, but to just have the opportunity, like have the chance, like increase their own odds of getting into a woman's presence, right? Like to be able to look at a woman, to be able to talk to a woman, right? Understand, like there were men risking their lives to do this. And I think, I don't know what happened, but it's like collectively, like women as a collective have completely forgotten the times in which men would literally risk their lives, like risk death in order to be in our presence, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? And then you have, the modern woman thinking that she has power by paying a man's mortgage or paying a man's bills. And that's not at all where a woman gets really the most powerful form of power, right? So I just want you to think about that. So we're going to look at this article. For those of you who've entered the live stream and didn't see this news article I presented, it's this right here. You have a woman, she says she's 49, who says a police worker boyfriend evicted her just after she paid off the mortgage paid off the mortgage, and she loses court fight for half of the $400,000 home. Okay, or £400,000 home. And, a point that I wanted to make is that when a woman deals with a man, she's automatically putting skin in the game, right? Because if you look at any of the statistics on violence on women or the state of gender equality on a global scale, you will find that dealing with men as a woman is very risky. Like you have Domestic violence at very high rates. You have women being killed by their intimate partners at very high levels. You have women being sexually assaulted at very high levels. You have women being kidnapped and trafficked by very high levels. And usually the drivers of all of these horrible statistics are men. Like, it's usually men who are kidnapping and trafficking women. It's usually men who are assaulting women. It's usually men who are killing women at home, right? So you're already putting skin in the game as a woman. So to deal with a man who isn't outwardly and actively trying to put skin in the game, it's foolish, because you're already pretty much risking your life to deal with a man. And I haven't even talked about the risks of being intimately involved with men, right? Like, I haven't even talked about the risk of pregnancy and how women still die during childbirth, how women still die during pregnancy complications, how women ruin their bodies, like completely rip their, oh my gosh, it's so horrible. They get their stomachs cut open, have a child for a man who doesn't even like value the woman enough to marry her. Like, it's crazy. So, I mean, I'm saying this, to say that decrease the access that men have to you if you want to be treated better, and if you want that man to put some skin in the game, because he's going to have to put skin in the game in order to take you seriously, in order to want to stick around, because men love and commit to what they invest in. So you have to require that man to invest time, energy, resources, and attention in order for him to take you seriously. Because if you don't, like I said before, he is going to see you as disposable, because he didn't have to work for you. He didn't have to earn you. And you know how people treat things that are free. People who get things that, I'm the same. We're all the same way, right? Like, if there's information online and I get like a free ebook, I'm like, yeah, I'll put in my information. I'll get the free ebook. Forget about it. I forgot about it. I don't follow through. I don't pay attention to it. I don't, actually apply the knowledge, try to obtain the knowledge. It's because it was free. Now, information that I paid for, things that I've paid for, I take much, much more seriously. And you have to think that way in your relationships as well. Like, you have to be like, okay, I have to make this man earn my attention. I have to make this man earn access to me. And when you think that way, things like this are likely to never happen to you. Likely to never happen to you. But when you don't think like this, and when you don't have this mindset of requiring the man to put skin in the game, this is likely to happen to you, because role reversal is likely to happen. Okay? Hey, BC girl. So today is just going to be like a short video. I don't really have much to say besides that. It's just that, all of this is a process. Like, I've had to go through the process as well, especially as a Black American woman. And you know how like Black American women are taught to be independent and not depend on a man, and like just do everything on their own. And we are socialized to take on more masculine roles, because many of our male counterparts are absent, right? Or just kind of like excused, or not challenged to be anything. So many of the women are socialized to take on more masculine roles. And for me, it's been a process to like undo the brainwashing. And I know for many others, it's going to take time to do that as well. So this is why I make these videos. Women as a whole have been brainwashed into thinking that, we need to compete with men, that, we have to try to get equality to men, without even realizing that on a fundamental level, women are more powerful than men, because men come out of a woman's body. Women do not come out of men's body, right? And, for the people who like to argue and say, oh, well, you need the sperm from the man. Like, I recently learned that women produce sperm in their bone marrow. So push come to shove, we could evolve to be a female only species. But anyway, that's beside the point. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I'll talk to you lovely people later. And last thing, just understand role reversal harms the woman more than it harms the man, okay? It says here, ladies, stop investing into deadbeats. If a man stops working, just leave. She tried to play house, said she spent 100,000 pounds, but got back 32,000. The mortgage payments, but not the renovations. So stop playing house. And a lot of these men don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. They've done absolutely nothing to deserve you giving of yourself so freely. So you have to make them earn it. So you know for a fact that they deserve it. Okay. All right. So bye.